In this video, we're going to see how to import Microsoft Word documents into Codebeamer. We're going to see how the formatting should be done in the document, how to configure the import, and in the end, how to import the items to trackers. First, let's take a look at the example Word document that we have prepared. With the Microsoft Word import functionality, you're able to import work items into your trackers. The Word document should be structured using Word styles. After the import, the heading styles will be the summaries of the work items. The paragraphs after the heading, with normal styles, will be the descriptions. The different levels of heading styles will make the parent-child relationship between the work items. So let's see that in a real example. This is a document that we're going to use. We're going to have different requirements, and these are all going to be transferred to one of the trackers in Codebeamer. Let's start on the first page. Let's see how the document is formatted. First of all, we have one requirement for the chassis. This is formatted with the heading 1 styling. Then we have the summary, which is a normal paragraph. Underneath, we have a heading 2 styling, and then again a normal paragraph, which means that the chassis is going to be the parent of the carbon fiber plastic structures requirement. If we scroll a little bit more, we're going to see that, for example, for the transmission requirement, we have heading 1. For the default continuously variable, we have heading 2. And then for that, there is another requirement, which is heading 3. So the structure is going to look like that the transmission is going to be the parent. Then there's going to be one child. And there's going to be another child of this child. Let's go into Codebeamer and see how we can import this document. Once in Codebeamer, we need to select which tracker we'd like to import our document to. We're going to use the Customer Requirement Specifications tracker. As you can see, there are no items yet. So let's click on More and click on Import. Here we have different options. We're going to choose the Microsoft Word for now, and we're going to attach our document. Once that's uploaded, let's click on Next. We are immediately prompted with a preview, but we can still make some adjustments. First of all, on the left side, we're going to see the structure. So just what we checked, we have the chassis and then the carbon fiber plastic structures, or with the transmission example, we have the 3-level connection here. In the middle section, we can scroll through our requirements. This is going to look like exactly how our document was. Now, let's take a look at the right side and see what configurations we can do. First of all, we have some statistics here, so we can see how many of the items are going to be imported in the current tracker. Currently it says 22, but we have the option to skip any of the items manually. For example, if I'm going to skip the chassis item, then it's going to automatically skip its child as well. So we'll see that now we're only going to import 20 items and we're going to ignore 2. So let's turn this back on. We have our import rules here. So we're going to import to the current tracker. We're going to import the whole document. Otherwise, we can select specific items. And we're only going to import those if all the conditions are met. Currently, we don't have any conditions. We're going to import all styles, but we can select whether we only want to import heading 1, heading 2, or heading 3. But also, we can add some new conditions as well. For example, I'm going to add the condition that it does not contain the word chassis. If I click on the preview down here, we're going to see what happens. The chassis got immediately grayed out, and if we take a look at the statistics, now we're only importing 21 items and we're ignoring 1 item. With this, we can have multiple conditions and different logics when it comes to importing the Word document. Now I remove my condition, so I'm just going to click Preview to restore it to the original status. If we are satisfied with the preview and we configured all of our rules, we need to click on Save. Once that's done, we have an information that we imported 22 items, that the import is going to start a background job. Since we only had a few requirements, it's already done, so I can start by expanding the tree structure on the left side, and we can see all of our requirements here. If I open up the right side, we have all the different fields. So now we are ready to handle these requirements in Codebeamer. So now that we've seen how to import into one tracker, let's see if we want to import our document into multiple different trackers. For that, I'm just going to open my custom requirement specification and select Import. We're going to use the same document, but this time we're going to splitting it into 3 different trackers. So let me go ahead and attach that file. Now that it's uploaded, let's click on Next. And you're seeing the same page as before. What we need to focus on are going to be the import rules. So currently, we're importing everything to the current tracker, as we can see here, but also in the statistics, we see that all the 22 items are going to be imported to the current tracker. Let's change that. So let's say only the heading ones are going to be imported into the current tracker. Now, if we select the preview, we're going to see that all the child elements are going to be grayed out. It's only going to be 6 items going to the current tracker. Let's add a new import rule. We're not going to import into the current tracker, but we're going to import into the system requirement specification. And there, we're going to import the heading 2 elements. So again, if we select preview, we're going to see that 6 items are going to be imported to the current tracker, and 11 items are going to be imported into the system requirement specification trackers. And now we only have a few items grayed out. So let's import those as well. I'm going to select the test cases tracker, and I'm going to select the heading 3 items. So now, if I hit preview, all of the 22 items are going to be imported into different trackers. So let me click on Save. And let's wait for the tool to process everything. Now that it's processed, we're going to see that currently in the custom requirement specifications, we have the 6 items that we imported. And in the downstream references, we're going to see the items from the different trackers, so the relations are going to be created automatically. So for the chassis, we have the carbon fiber plastic structure. If I click on that, we're going to be navigated to the system requirement specifications tracker. Here we also have the different elements, so we can look through the details. And if we take a look at the default continuously variable transmission, we see that we also have another downstream reference, which is referring to the test case tracker. If I click on that, we're going to be navigated to the test cases tracker, and we can see the rest of the items that we imported. This way, we're not only storing our imported document in one tracker, but we could manage to import these into multiple different trackers.